Welcome back. You guys ready to do some more learning? Okay, here we go. Be encouraged. Take a deep breath. Get excited to learn. You're doing yourself a huge favor. You don't even know it yet. All right, bottom of the page. Let's back up a paragraph anyways. Get the ball rolling. How true this is. Few realize, in a vague way, their families and friends sense that the drinkers are abnormal. But everybody hopefully awaits the day when the sufferer will rouse himself from his lethargy and assert his power of will. Remember? Willpower. The tragic truth is that if the man be a real alcoholic, the happy day may not arrive. He has lost control. And at a certain point in the drinking of every alcoholic, he passes into a state where the most powerful desire to stop drinking is of absolutely no avail. This tragic situation has already arrived in practically every case long before that is suspected. Hold on a second, let me get my highlighter. We're going to come up to some good stuff here. Here we are. The fact is that most alcoholics, for reasons yet obscure, have lost the power of choice in drink. You know what else? Our so-called willpower becomes practically non-existent. We are unable at certain times to bring it to our consciousness with sufficient force of the memory of suffering and humiliation of even a week or month ago. How many people can relate to that? We are unable at certain times to bring to our consciousness with sufficient force the memory of suffering and humiliation of even a week or a month ago. How many times have you gone out on benders wanting to die, destroying relationships, property, your friggin' money, whatever you got, all pissed away due to alcohols and drugs, and then you say, you know what, I'm not going to do this anymore. Only a week, maybe a month, even sometimes years later, you say, you know what, I'm going to give this another shot. It wasn't that bad. Only to start another debacle all over again. It's the insanity, right? It centers in the mind, not in the body. We are strangely insane when it comes to the idea of picking up drugs or alcohol. And that's okay, because there's a solution. All right, carry on. The almost certain consequences that follow taking even a glass of beer do not crowd into the mind to deter us. If these thoughts occur, they are hazy and readily supplanted with the old threadbare idea that this time we shall handle ourselves like other people. There's complete failure of a kind of defense that keeps one from putting his hand on a hot stove. The alcoholic may say to himself in the most casual way, "It won't burn me this time, so here's how." Or perhaps he doesn't think at all. How often have some of us begun to drink in this nonchalant way after the third or fourth, pounded on the bar and said to ourselves, for God's sake, how did I ever get started again? Only to have that thought supplanted by, well, I'll stop with the sixth drink. Or what's the use anyhow? How many times have you guys had that thought to your house? Fuck it, let's just get absolutely loaded. For me, many times. When this sort of thinking is fully established in an individual with alcoholic tendencies, he has probably placed himself beyond human aid. Beyond human aid, right guys? Why? Because it's nothing to do with willpower here. Unless locked up, may die or go permanently insane. These stark and ugly facts have been confirmed by legions of alcoholics throughout history. But for the grace of God, there would have been thousands more convincing demonstrations. So many want to stop but cannot. There is a solution. Remember this. Remember this. There is a solution. Almost none of us like the self-searching, the leveling of our pride, the confession of shortcomings, which the process requires for its successful consummation. But we saw that it really worked in others, and we had to come to believe in the hopelessness and futility of life as we had been living it. It works in me too, not just others, and many people I know. But we saw that it really Yeah, let's just read that again. We saw it really worked in others, and we had to come to believe in the hopelessness and futility of life as we had been living it. When therefore we are approached by those in whom the problem had been solved, there was nothing left for us but to pick up the simple kit of spiritual tools laid at our feet. You notice it says spiritual tools. It doesn't say religious tools or biblical tools or Buddhist tools. They're universally acceptable spiritual truths that you can apply no matter if you're living in South Africa, Alaska, Thailand. It doesn't matter. They still work. We have found much of heaven, and we have been rocketed into the fourth dimension of existence, of which we had not even dreamed. The great fact, remember guys, language, fact. Facts are important, not just perspective, right? You don't want my opinion when it comes to Alcoholics Anonymous. You want something that's in black and white. You want facts. Opinions are useless. And nothing less, that we have had deep and effective spiritual experiences, which have revolutionized our whole attitude toward life, towards our fellows, and towards God's universe, right? So the spiritual experiences, like I said before, remember it centers in the mind and not in the body. They impact our attitude towards life and towards our brothers and sisters, and of course towards the power of the universe or spirit of life, whatever you want to call it. The central fact of our lives today is that absolute certainty that our Creator has entered into our hearts and lives in a way which is indeed miraculous. He has commenced to accomplish those things for us which we could never do by ourselves. If you are as seriously alcoholic as we were, we believe there is no middle of the road solution. We were in a position where life was becoming impossible. And if we had passed into the region from which there is no return through human aid, we had but two alternatives. One was to go into the bitter end, blotting out the consciousness of our whole intolerable situations. We could, and the other was to accept spiritual help. I mean, when you hear in NA, what does it say? To the bitter ends, blowing out jails, institutions, and death. If you stay in the program long enough, you'll see that that's exactly what happens to people that don't want to do these simple tasks. Once again, two options. Death, jail, institutions, or guess what? Here's a simple little task. Accept spiritual help. This we did because we honestly wanted to and were willing to make the effort. A certain American businessman had ability, good sense, and high character. For years, he had floundered from one sanitarium to another. He consulted the best-known psychiatrists. Then he had gone to Europe, placing himself in the care of a celebrated physician, the psychiatrist Dr. Jung. How famous is that guy, Dr. Jung? Many people who are in psychology know all about that guy, who prescribed for him. Though experience had made him skeptical, he finished his treatment and with unusual confidence. His physical and mental conditions were unusually good. Above all, he believed he had acquired such a profound knowledge of the inner workings of the mind and its hidden springs that relapse was unthinkable. Right? So he thought that he had the inner workings of the mind and its hidden springs, that relapse was unthinkable. I mean, look, he's working with Dr. Jung. This guy's incredibly famous. He must have it figured out. Nevertheless, he was drunk in a short time. More baffling still, he could give himself no satisfactory explanation for his fall, right? You have no idea sometimes. You're powerless over the idea of picking up that first drug or drink. It's okay. It's not just you. It was me. It's many, many millions of others as well. Don't be shamed into feeling like you're too small to get this program, because you're not. You're a champion. I'm just happy you guys are here on page 26. Let's keep going. So he returned to this doctor whom he admired and asked him point blank way why he could not recover. He wished above all things to regain self-control. He seemed quite rational and well balanced with respect to other problems, yet he had no control whatever over alcohol. Why was this? He begged the doctor to tell him the whole truth, and he got it. In the doctor's judgment, he was utterly hopeless. He could never again regain his position in society, and he'd have to place himself under lock and key or hire a bodyguard if he expected to live long. That was a great physician's opinion. This Dr. Jung is saying that about this guy. He's utterly hopeless. Dr. Young is saying this guy is utterly hopeless. Lock him up. Get him a bodyguard, or else he's not going to live long. And here we go. But this man still lives and is a free man. He does not need a bodyguard, nor is he confined. He can go anywhere on this earth where other free men may go without disaster, provided he remains willing to maintain a certain simple attitude. Some of our alcoholic readers may think they can do without spiritual help. Let us tell you the rest of the conversation our friend had with this doctor. Once again, Dr. Young. Imagine how much money this guy would have had to pay to go see this Dr. Young at that time. Big bucks. The doctor said, "You have the mind of a chronic alcoholic. I've never seen one single case recover where the state of mind existed to the extent it does in you." Our friend felt as though the gates of hell had closed on him with a clang. He said to the doctor, "Is there no exception?" "Yes," replied the doctor, "there is. Exceptions to cases such as yours have been occurring since early times. Here and there, once in a while, alcoholics have had what we are called vital spiritual experiences." So even Dr. Young is talking about the importance of spiritual experience. "To me, these occurrences are a phenomena. They appear to be in the nature of huge emotional displacements and rearrangements. Ideas, emotions, and attitudes, which were once the guiding forces of their lives, of these men are suddenly cast to one side." I will acknowledge that it says men. Keep in mind it's old. This is men or women. "And a completely new set of conceptions and motives begin to dominate him. In fact, I've been trying to produce such emotional rearrangement within him." Dr. Young's trying to produce this spiritual experience that's going to alleviate this guy. Because Dr. Young basically is at a point where he does not have a fucking clue how to get this person better. And he's trying to elevate himself to recognize that there's some other force that can come in and after all his brilliant work can do what Dr. Young couldn't. "In fact, I've been trying to produce such an emotional rearrangement within you. With many individuals, the methods which I employed are successful, but I have never been successful with an alcoholic of your description." Upon hearing this, our friend was somewhat relieved, for he reflected that, after all, he was a good church member. This hope, however, was destroyed by the doctors telling him that while his religious convictions were very good, in his case, they did not spell the necessary vital spiritual experiences. And I think this kind of talks to what Bill W. was talking about in the past. So he saw Jesus as incredible, but he found that Christians themselves didn't really follow in Jesus's walk and talk, right? So you'll find a lot of people coming into the rooms who are very spiritual. Muslim, Christians, Jews, doesn't matter. I mean, what are the other religions? Anyways, I'm going blank on that. They come in and they think that they've got God. They've got that connection. They've got that part of their lives all sorted out. But guess what? If they really did have that connection and power, they would be at a place where, hold on. Back to it. Sorry guys, there was just some people that are outside the door there and I just had to pause. Sorry for the interruption. Anyways, I was thinking about the idea of a lot of people coming in, right? They're coming in, they think they've got the God connection, they think that they got that part all figured out. Maybe they may have even been a reverend or a pastor somewhere, right? Leading people to God, still turning out themselves to be alcoholics. Can you imagine thinking that you're coming to a program that's going to tell you that God's going to help you sort through this? And yet you haven't been able to figure out yourself? Pretty humiliating, right? Humbling experiences we go through here in AA. Here was the terrible dilemma which our friend found himself when he had the extraordinary experience, which was which, as we have already told you, made him a free man. We, in our turn, sought the same escape with all the desperation of drowning men. What seemed at first a flimsy reed has proved to be the loving and powerful hand of God. A new life has been given us, or, if you prefer, a design for living that really works. The distinguished American psychologist William James, in the book Varieties of religious experience indicates a multitude of ways in which men have discovered God. We have no desire to convince anyone that there's only one way by which faith can be acquired. Remember that, guys. AA states that, right? They've got no desire to twist anybody's arm to say that this is the only way to do it. There's many ways. They're acknowledging that. If what we have learned and felt and seen means anything at all, it means that all of us, whatever our race, creed, or color, are the children of a living creator with whom we may form a relationship upon simple and understandable terms, as soon as we are willing and honest enough to try. Those having religious affiliations will find here nothing disturbing to their beliefs or ceremonies. There is no friction among us over such matters, right? So it doesn't contradict whether you want to be at a place of seeking Allah or you want to be at a place of seeking Krishna or whatever your power is, right? Or the creator. It still works. It's not going to be at a place of convincing you that your beliefs are wrong. We think it no concern of ours what religious bodies our members identify themselves with as individuals. This should be an entirely personal affair, with each one decides for himself in the light of past associations or his present choice. Not all of us join religious bodies, but most of us favor such memberships. In the following chapter, there appears an explanation of alcoholism as we understand it. The chapter addressed to the agnostic, many who were once in this class are now among our members. Surprisingly enough, man, I can't even speak anymore. Surprisingly enough, we find such convictions no great obstacle to spiritual experience. Further on, clear-cut directions, guess what those are? The 12 steps are shown how we have, guess what, guys? Showing how we recovered. They're followed by 42 personal stories, right? That's what the stories are in the back of the book. 42 personal stories. Basically, of each individual, a personal story describes in his own language and from his own point of view the way he established his relationship with God, right? The stories are basically all about how they came to see and connect with God. These give a fair cross-section of our membership and a clear-cut idea of what has actually happened in their lives. We hope no one will consider these self-revealing accounts in bad taste. Our hope is that many alcoholic men and women desperately in need will see these pages and would believe that it is only by fully disclosing ourselves and our problems that they will be persuaded to say, yes, I am one of them too. I must have this thing. So ask yourself, so far we've read, 29 pages. This is 2 chapters in. What's coming up for you guys? Are you feeling this is totally not you? Or maybe there's a part of you that's just crying out inside saying, oh my God, this is totally me. And guess what? That's a beautiful thing. Because now you don't have to live in all that mental congestion, all that pain and suffering. You get to start living a different way with a bunch of people all over the country, God, all over the world, that want to help you get better and love on you. So get excited. Chapter 3 is coming. Thanks for listening.